everyone, Brachiosaurus227. Don't you remember 2017, the glory days of Nerf? And, well, in my opinion, they were the glory days of Nerf. They were just some of the best blasters you could ever get came out in 2017. It was also the birth of the Accustrike line, which were, these darts. Now, these darts were quite revolutionary at the time because there was nothing else quite like them. We were really just accustomed to the Elite dart, and this showed us how much more accurate a Nerf dart could be. There were some other predecessors to this, like waffle heads that you could get before this, I think, but they were from other off-brand companies, and they just weren't the most reliable. But this is a mainstream company, Nerf, attempting to make more accurate darts. And unfortunately, as we all know, Accustrike kind of died. But we could be mad about the past, or we could look at all the great stuff it still gave us. Today I'm going to be overviewing all three blasters from the initial launch of Accustrike. So the Falconfire, Alphahawk, and the big chunkiest sniper rifle, the Raptorstrike. Have these blasters aged well? Let's find out. Alrighty, starting with a little bit more of a boring one since I kind of already covered it. I'm going to go through this pretty fast. This is the Falconfire. This was a compact, breech-loading, single-shot blaster. So you take your dart, you load it into the breech, close the priming handle, and fire. Now this blaster is a little bit different and it isn't as high quality as the other two. You even notice it doesn't even have the rubber grip, it's just a plastic shell. But this thing's pretty good, and it's mostly known for its modability. Stock, it is pretty much kind of trash, I'll be honest. It's not really that good. It falls in line with the other ones. I think the Ion-Fire is better stock. But this is still a pretty cool blaster. It does look cool. It's a great little plinker. But where it really lies, what the great part about it is the modability. You can make a spamp out of this, which is basically the Aeon Pro before the Aeon Pro is a thing. You could literally make a half-dart Falconfire. It was really easy to convert to Talon Mags half-darts, and that's the best part about it. The grip is really good though, despite it not being the rubber texture. There is an inch-strike tack rail on the bottom here. I actually really despise this thing because when released, I thought these dart holders were part of an internal mag system, but no, they weren't. It is still definitely a nifty little blaster though, and for sure a fun plinker, even though it performs about 65 FPS. If I had to rate this thing, I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. Next we have the predecessor to the Eagle Point kind of, but it's also a Spectre, and that is the Alphahawk. Now this thing is pretty darn cool. First off, and I will not debate anyone on this, it has one of the best shells ever created. And it has a rubberized grip, which is one of the best grips you can get your hands on. It's such an amazing and well-designed grip. The stock is literally the perfect length, and it's extremely comfortable. Kind of a Raven style stock, except it's a little bit better. There's sling mounts up the wazoo, just everywhere. Well, actually, there's only a few. If this kind of counts as a sling mount, and there's one here and one here, so there's not as many as I said. I don't know why I said that. But what really stands out about this blaster, besides the ergonomics, is just the looks. This is such a sleek and sci-fi looking blaster, and it's just really cool. There's a tack rail up top if you want to put an optic on there, which, you probably do want to put an optic on there. Oh, that looks really good. But even more important, they have a tack rail at the bottom by the front of the barrel, which means you can put a foregrip on there, which is definitely a useful thing to do. What would you do if this didn't have a foregrip? This takes it to 10 stars immediately. Oh, that's actually kind of nice. I was joking, but that kind of feels nice for some reason. I really like how secure that makes me feel. But we all know the bottom tack rail is really for your custom foam zombie machete. This is bayonet good. Oh my gosh, this is so freaking cool. Bayonet all the way, brother. I don't know why I said brother. No, my brother probably is not even watching it. That's freaking awesome. But we have other cool design details like this little sight thing up here, and just the overall general look of the blaster is really nice and sci-fi.
Hey!
My favorite part though is how crispy.
That's pretty good.
That cylinder is. Oh my gosh, that was so fun to do. This thing is so nice. Oh, this thing is just so snazzy and crispy, and it's my favorite part of the whole blaster. The prime is your standard kind of return prime thing. This blaster doesn't have slam fire. The trigger's pretty nice. It is like a Spectre rotating system, which means it's kind of inferior. The thing is with blasters like the Spectre, Long Arm, and they have like this 5-cylinder thing where when you prime it and pull the trigger, it auto-rotates the prime. And you have to like do it pretty nice, pretty crispy to get it right. And the problem is that leads to a lot more chances of skipping rounds. I skip rounds with every one of these blasters. The Long Arm, Spectre, and Alphahawk skip rounds, and I think it was a terrible idea to have it have this cylinder system. They should have stuck with the Strong Arm system for this blaster, which is what they did with the Eagle Point, and I honestly think the Eagle Point did that better. It holds 5 rounds, and admittedly, it is big for something that holds 5 rounds. Like, it is way too big for that. But this thing still makes a killer plinker. Like, if you're hitting down targets and stuff, this is an optimal blaster for that. It's really comfortable, it's really nice, it's really sleek, it has a really good feel, it looks awesome, it has such a great rifle sniper style feel. But do I recommend it practically? No, this thing is not really that good unless you're a plinker. If you're not a plinker, this thing kind of sucks, to be honest, because all it really has is a good shell that you could cut up and integrate with something, and I actually want to integrate this back part here with a rough cut, but dude, it is an issue that this has. This is kind of an overrated blaster, even though it is one of the best plinkers Nerf has ever made. It does have the issues that it has, and they can't be ignored. This thing's not practical in any way, so unless you're a plinker, I wouldn't really recommend this. I'm starting to sense a theme here. Still one of the absolute most fun blasters to just play with, though. Don't get me wrong, I give this thing like an 8 out of 10. That is a personal rating, just to let y'all know. Now we have the big mamacita.
What?
Of the Nerf Accustrike series. That was a weird way to describe it. This is the Raptorstrike, and I know it is a play on a bird. I know Alphahawk, Falconfire, but the dinosaur person in me, that's a weird way to say it. The dinosaur guy in me says that this is talking about the dinosaur, the Raptorstrike. So this has a special place in my heart. Am I biased for that? No, probably not. Don't question me too further about that, because I might give you an answer you don't like. Well, now it has a lot of extra stuff right out the gate. First off, you'll notice that these mags are really cool. Yeah, these are some of my favorite 6-round mags. Still, the Cheddar mags are better. This is a Cheddar mag, if you didn't know. These are my favorite 6-rounders. You also get a bipod up here, which is probably one of Nerf's better bipods, because it's a lot more crispier than some others, and you can actually extend it to a pretty relatively decent length. But it is kind of useless for this blaster, so I'm just going to kind of ditch it. And the rarest part about this blaster is this sight. This sight, it's really easy to take off and put back on. It's really weird. I don't know why, but a lot of these were even shipped without the sights because they just fell out. So if you have one with a sight, you're lucky. These sights get lost so easily. I've seen people have offered me 20, 30 bucks for the one I have. So, you know it's like it's a pretty rare thing. But even though it's loosely connected, it's still a really cool sight because you press the button and it does that. And that's just different for a Nerf sight, and it corresponds with the front sight really well. You have an access door right here that is, okay. There is a tack rail up here, for a foregrip, because you gotta put a foregrip on these things. I'm a monster, I know. And unfortunately, since the mag was right here, you can't put the special machete and have a bayonet on it. 0 points. There is what I can only assume is a sling mount up front. There is this really just chungus railgun looking barrel that I absolutely love. There is kind of a sling mount in here, and there's a sling mount under here, and this handguard is a handguard, not a sling mount. Now, the biggest problem I have with this is a foregrip. You could technically use this part with like a foregrip or hold it like this, but it's like too long. Even my big 3-foot arms can't really do that. I don't know if my arms are 3 feet or not, but this is a really ergonomic blaster. It's just the whole foregrip part is weird, because if you hold it like this, it's too close. And if you hold it like this, you're either intersecting with the bipod, or you're just like, what are you doing? It's really, you're reaching too long. It's not good. The best way to do it, I've seen, is kind of grab the bottom of the mag, but it's still weird because where are you going to put your hand? Like, you can rest it on the bolt, but that breaks your whole traditional sniper style prime, although this is a long reach. So it kind of makes sense to do it like this, but it's still a weird mess ergonomically. Everything else, though, is fine. The stock is perfect length. The cheek rest is absolutely immaculate. The grip is fire, as the kids would say these days. Rubberized texture, just really nice. The only other blaster besides this and the Alphahawk that does rubberized texture is the Fortnite Flare, which this is a modded one. And that's why I really like the Flare so much. Underrated blaster, go get yourself one. But it's still a really cool blaster. It is still relatively comfortable, it's just you don't have a lot of places to put your forehand except like this. And it's just really weird, which kind of makes sense. There is an opening here, so maybe they have like a place for you're supposed to put your hand there, but it's just weird. It doesn't make any sense, and it just doesn't work. You can't put a scope on it. There's nowhere to put your hands. There is a bipod there, but like you don't. It's such a weird blaster. And to operate the blaster, you prime it back, hit your mag release, which is in the trigger guard, which I normally don't mind, but this one's way too sensitive, and well, sometimes it's sensitive, and you can literally accidentally drop your mag really easily. It's really annoying. I do not like this mag release at all. Stick that mag in there, prime it forward, and fire. This thing makes no sense. The reach is way too much. You have to do this. This breaks every tradition of a sniper rifle. Also, since you have a mag back here, you can do sniper tactical reloads. Oh yeah! That was smooth, guys. That was actually kind of smooth. It has this sci-fi feel that all the others have, but it is kind of the more inferior one. The performance is very lackluster for a blaster like this, about 60 FPS, 65 FPS. It's not the best performer, however, it is quite moddable, so there is that. And no, it doesn't have slam fire. I still have a special place in my heart for this blaster because I used to go look at it on the shelves at Walmart in 2017. Man, that was 7 years ago. But I would look at this thing and say, I really wish I got that. I got the regulator and I like that, but I still wish I got this. And when I finally did get my hands on it a couple years later, it was just a dream come true. So I do have a soft spot for this. It is called the Raptorstrike. I am Brickosaurus. It is kind of like a given that I would like this thing. It gave us the second best 6-round magazine. It is a pretty nifty Nerf sniper, and you know, it is pretty nice. It works pretty well. It has mod potential, so it's not the worst, but it really fails on a lot of fronts of being a sniper. I give it a 7 out of 10 though, because I'm kind of biased. I'm going to be honest, guys. I am biased on this, so I just need to tell y'all. I am biased on my rating with this because I really like it. That's my personal rating. I have memories with this. I have memories wanting to get this. I had memories of getting this and being so happy. And looking at it now, yeah, it's mid. Like, realistically, my rating would probably be like a 5 out of 10. I'm being honest. But because of just nostalgia, I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. So don't hate me for it.
How dare you!
But that's the Accustrike series. I think the best one in general is just the Alphahawk. Now, there is the other ones that released later on, like the Accutrooper.
Is garbage.
And there is the Stratohawk, or whatever it's called, which is the Rapid Strike. That thing's pretty cool. They also reskinned the Side Strike for some reason, which is weird. And then they had the Quadrat thing, which was also kind of weird. But other than that, you know, Accustrike is honestly pretty mid. Like, thinking about it, it's hailed as one of Nerf's best decisions, mainly for the darts. The blasters were lackluster. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching this overview. I know I'm supposed to be doing my movie. It's coming out soon, I promise. I'm just working on it. It's busy. This is a placeholder video, if you can't tell. But I hope you enjoyed this look at Accustrike. The blaster series that I don't know what it's remembered for besides the darts. It's a really hard series to talk about, but it's that 2017's nostalgia, back when Nerf was trying things, and even though they didn't really stick to the wall, they're still good. Like, these blasters aren't bad. I miss when Nerf would try stupid things and random things and try stuff out, instead of, you know, doing half-baked attempts to compete with other competitors like Dart Zone. Nerf should do their own thing, and that's one reason I do kind of like N-Series, is it's not following the norm. Because when Nerf tries to follow the norm, it doesn't work out that well. I hate this thing so much. That almost broke my glass doors to the cabinet. So yeah, I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye-bye.
My junk drawer, my junk drawer. So many things I don't know what they're for, but I won't let it go. No, I will add more useless little things to my junk drawer.